Hey friends, it's Christine from Spotted Horse Design Company, and today we're going to be making this almond Christmas ornament cover. Now, this is made using the Almond Ridge stitch, which is what gives it this cable look to the fabric here, and this is made completely flat, and then it's seamed together. We'll put it around our bauble, seam it together, and then cinch up both of these ends here. So let's talk about what supplies we're going to need to make this. So I'm actually going to be using red yarn, but the label ripped and came off of the skein. So I've got this one here to show you, but I am using this Heartland worsted yarn from Lion Brand. You are also going to need a 5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a tapestry needle, and I forgot to put this in the frame, but you'll also need a tape measure as well. And as usual, I actually forgot the most important part of, or one of the most important parts of this pattern is you are going to need a 3.15 inch clear Christmas ornament, or it can just be one of those styrofoam ornaments from Joann, but it does need to be at least a 3-inch or 3.15. These are the 3.15 ornaments. I got this in a package of 12 off of Amazon, and I will make sure to link this below in the description. All right, let's get started. So first we're going to begin by making a foundation chain of 17. And once you've got that foundation chain, we're going to work into the second chain from the hook here. And you're going to work 1 slip stitch. And now we're going to work 1 slip stitch into the next chain. And now you're going to work 4 half double crochet stitches, or I should say 1 half double crochet stitch in each of the next 4 chains here. And now we are going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the next 4 chains. You want to work these kind of loosely because when you come back and have to work into them, sometimes they can be really tight. So just try to keep your tension on the looser side. You can even go up a hook size if you have very tight tension. All right, and now for the next 4 stitches, we're going to make 1 half double crochet. Again, in each of the next 4 stitches. And now that should leave you with just 2 chains at the very end. You're simply going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the last 2 chains. And now you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And basically we're going to repeat that same row, except we're going to be working into the back loops. So let me just get a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, we're going to only be working into these back loops here, all the way across from here throughout the rest of this pattern. We're just going to work into the back loops. So you're not gonna worry about this front loop. Normally we insert our hook. Sorry, that's not focusing very well. Normally we insert our hook like this through both loops, but we're just going to work into this back loop here. So again, it's just a repeat of this first row that we just finished. So in each of these first 2 stitches here, now your turning chain does not count as a stitch. You're going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the first 2 stitches, again, working into that back loop only. And once you've completed those slip stitches in each of the next 4 stitches, you are going to work 1 half double crochet stitch. Again, back loops only. Oh, my yarn's getting caught on my little pine cone decorations. And once you've completed those 4 half double crochet stitches, Continuing to work in the back loops, we're going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the next 4 stitches. And once you've completed those 4 slip stitches, you're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And now you should just have 2 stitches left. You're going to work 1 slip stitch in each of these last 2 stitches. And then chain 1 and turn your work. And now, even with just these first 2 rows that you've completed, you should already be able to see this almond shape start to form. All right, so let's move on to the next row. Now, these next 2 rows are going to be identical. They're going to be basically the opposite of what we did on these first 2 rows. All right, and you'll notice that as the pattern goes on, you repeat the same row twice and then go back and repeat that next row twice. So we're going to start by making 1 slip stitch in each of the first 6 stitches now, okay? And now once you've completed those 6 slip stitches, go ahead and work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And once you've made those 4 half double crochet stitches, you're going to finish this row. You should have 6 stitches left. You are going to make 1 slip stitch in each of these last 6 stitches. Sometimes this last one. There we go. And chain 1 and turn your work. And now we are going to repeat what we just did. All right, we're going to repeat that row for our next row here. And now for this next row, this is our 4th row, we are simply going to repeat the last row that we just did. So in each of the first 6 stitches, you're going to make 1 slip stitch. Each of the first 6 stitches, we're making 1 slip stitch. And now in each of the next 4 stitches, you're going to work 1 half double crochet. And now for the rest of this row, you should have 6 stitches left. You're going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the last 6 stitches of this row. And now you're going to chain 1 and turn your work. And now for the next 2 rows, we are going to repeat the first 2 rows that we did. So in each of the first 2 stitches, you're going to work 1 slip stitch. And now we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. Once you've completed those 4 half double crochet stitches, now you're going to slip stitch in each of the next 4 stitches. And now it's time to go back to half double crochets. So you're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. That should leave you with just 2 stitches. You're going to work a slip stitch in each of these last 2 stitches. And now you'll chain 1 and turn your work. All right, so let's repeat that row again. So you're going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the first 2 stitches. And now you're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. Once you've completed those 4 half double crochets, it's time to go back to slip stitches, and you're going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the next 4 stitches. You're probably starting to fall into the rhythm of this by now, and you're seeing it's a pretty simple repeat actually. All right, so after those 4 slip stitches, we're going to go back to half double crochets and do 4 half double crochet stitches. And again, that should leave you with 2 stitches here on the end. This guy's a little hidden down there. All right, you're going to work 1 slip stitch in each of the last 2 stitches. And chain 1 and turn your work. All right, so for the next 2 rows, they're going to be a repeat of rows 3 and 4. So we are going to start by working a slip stitch in each of the first 6 stitches. And once you've worked those 6 slip stitches, go ahead and work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. That should leave you with 6 stitches left in the row. Of course, that last one is always a little hidden there. You want to make sure that you don't skip it accidentally, because sometimes it does. It kind of tends to bury itself on the end. All right, so for the last 6 stitches, go ahead and work 1 slip stitch in each of the last 6 stitches. Once you've come to the end of that row, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. And now we are simply going to repeat that last row one more time. So again, in each of the first 6 stitches, you're going to work a slip stitch. And now you're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 4 stitches. And that's going to leave you with 6 stitches left on the end of the row. So go ahead and work 1 slip stitch in each of these last 6 stitches. All right, so here is where I like to measure just to make sure that I am on track. So from end to end, it should be just about 4 inches. Let's just give it a quick measure. And that is right on the money, 4 inches. So we're looking good. I'm going to keep going. So if you haven't already, go ahead and chain 1 and turn your work. So now I'm going to leave you on your own for a little bit here. I'm going to let you finish this up because this is a very simple repeat. You're just going to, for the next 2 rows, you're now going to repeat rows 1 and 2. And then for the next 2 rows, you'll repeat rows 3 and 4. And then you're going to go back and repeat 1 and 2, and then go back and repeat 3 and 4. So you're just going to keep doing 2 rows of this, and then 2 rows of that, 2 rows of this, and 2 rows of that. This video is time-stamped. They are in the description of this video, so you can go back and re-watch these first 2 rows and then these next 2 rows if you need a refresher moving forward. Now you're going to repeat rows 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 all the way until you have 28 rows total, and this should measure by this point. So by the time you have 28 rows, it should be just about at the 7.5 inch mark. So now let's go ahead and finish this up. So if you've got your bauble handy, you're going to want to grab that. You also want to make sure you have your tapestry needle handy. So go ahead. We're going to fasten this off, but we have to sew. So I'm going to just explain really quick. We're going to sew this together. So before you fasten this off, make sure you leave a nice long tail so that we can just use this for sewing. And now you're going to fold this so that the right side is on the inside. We're going to seam this from the wrong side. Thread your yarn onto your tapestry needle. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to whip stitch all the way across. The only thing is, I do want to point out, you still want to work, so this side, this end was my starting chain. So I'll insert my needle as normal into there. But coming through the other side, you still want to grab just the back loop so that when we turn this back the right side out, you'll still have this ridge outlining the almond shape on the seam. So to get started, just going to insert my hook or my needle into my very first starting chain there and skipping right over this loop. Hopefully you can see that. Skipping over this loop and working into the back. Just going to pull this through. And we're just going to keep whip stitching across. So inserting your needle into the next foundation chain and then into the back loop of the next stitch and pulling through. Again, inserting your needle into the starting chain and then through just the back loop of this stitch across the way here. And you're just going to continue to whip stitch in this same manner all the way across. And now once you've whip stitched all the way across, now conveniently, I have my other tail here, so I'll usually just secure it this way. Whoops. And then I don't worry about weaving this end in because I'm just going to keep this tucked. I am going to actually just trim it a little bit. Oops. Trim that end. I just keep it tucked inside here. So now I'm just going to flip this around so that now my right side is showing. And now here's where you're going to want to grab your Christmas ornament. Oops, a little thing came out. And you're just going to pop it inside here. And I like to start with the bottom, actually. You could do this without it being on the bauble. I always do it with it on, but I feel like you really could just do this and then slip it in there after you've cinched up the bottom. So once again, grab your tapestry needle. Thread this tail. Did I tell you don't cut this whole tail? The one little tail I cut, but the one that I used to whip stitch the seam on the inside, I did leave this because now what we're going to do is we're going to weave our tapestry needle in and out all the way around, and then we're just going to pull it closed at the end. So let me show you how that's going to go. So I usually just take my tapestry needle like this and just go in and out all the way around. All right, and then I'm going to pull this through. Oops. And I just keep doing this all the way around the bottom. And we repeat this for the top as well. And then once you've made it all the way around, you're just simply going to cinch the bottom closed. See what I mean about not needing to put this in right away? I could have totally just cinched the bottom and then popped this in here, but I don't know. That's just how I do it every time. So once you've got the bottom all cinched, all you're going to do is secure it now and then just fasten off. And now once that is secure, I do actually take my bauble out and then I grab the end, this end here, I just pull it through. Whoops, there we go. And once again, I'm just going to trim this end and I'm going to leave the ends just tucked inside of the cover here. There's no need to weave them in. All right, so I'm going to put the cover back on now, and now it's time to cinch up the top. So we're going to do it just like we did on the bottom. And now the piece that I used to cinch up the bottom with is still quite long, so I'm actually going to just use that for the top. So again, repeating what we did on the bottom. So just find any spot to insert your needle, and you're just going to start weaving your needle in and out along the top edge, just as we did on the bottom. Once you've made it all the way around, simply go ahead and just pull your end. And then you can just use both ends here to secure the top. Just going to trim up this end a bit. And now I'm just going to take my crochet hook here and kind of come up. I kind of went in from the middle of the ornament there. And then I just pull the ends down through. Whoop, we lost one. Come on. And then I will do that one more time. So I'll find another spot down here. Oh, maybe I'll go a little lower. And then pull these down through one final time. And then from here, I do just trim that one up, and then I just kind of move it around like that to get that little end to go back up inside. But there you go. This is all finished now. And that is it, my friend. Your almond Christmas ornament cover is all finished. Thanks so much for making this with me today, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!